This is my position on work too, because everybody in their head is like, what happens when AI takes all the jobs? And I'm like, do you have to have a fucking job? Isn't that a human invention? Like, why do you have to have a job? That seems crazy that our main focus is on housing and food. And like most people are basically just working for that. Most people that are struggling check to check, basically housing and food is their daily labor. If that's removed, wouldn't enough people figure out what to do with their time?
So I think so. That there will be some transition and discomfort in change.
But this is made up.
Ultimately, that is I mean, I think it's like, so slavery is really bad, right? Like wage labor is a sort of, slavery light in a sense. You have to sell a third of your waking day just to get money to pay for necessities.
And the people that are trying to make the most money make the conditions for their employees as shitty as possible because it costs the least amount. They don't think about it like, listen, maybe we make less money, but we have an awesome experience for everybody that works there. Nobody thinks like that. They all think like we have to make the most money because we have shareholders and we have a responsibility, and these people need to make more money every quarter. So
although sometimes you do need to compete for talent.
That's true too, but only the top talent. That's why the CEOs get all the bread and all the people on the assembly line get
some
fucked.
Employees get treated well, right? What would you say? I mean,
Jamie is a different kind of employee. Jamie is literally the
Exactly.
I mean, he's the co-person on this show.
Yeah.
That's different. But some dude who's out there, stocking boxes for Amazon, that's different than being the CEO.
Yeah, so I mean, I think like ultimately that would be a huge liberation and kind of restore dignity. Like you should be in control of your own time. It's kind of almost the most, like aside from your own body, like your own time, your own attention.
But we have to teach people discipline. They have to. That's the thing is like if you give people the opportunity to just do nothing, we do. We're primates. We'll find a way to. We're genetically sort of designed to conserve resources. You don't want to overuse resources for no reason, do a bunch of shit because you won't survive. You don't have enough food. So we're sort of designed to like know how to be lazy. And so we're going to have to find things that give us purpose or we'll get depressed.
Yeah. I mean, so it used to be the traditional idea like of British aristocracy, like that you wouldn't have to work for a living. It was kind of an unfortunate necessity for many people that they had to work for their daily bread, right? But the ideal way of being human was that you just had money. And then you spent your time doing other things, like maybe you were involved in politics, or maybe you had like an art collection, or you did your gardening, or entertained friends.
That's the best aspect of it. So, but when you think about British aristocracy, don't you think about fuck ups? I do. I think about guys that are just drunk. They drive their Ferrari into a lake and they accidentally drown their friend, and then they pay off the cops and they get away with it.
Yeah.
That's what I think of.
Well,
when I think of
there's that. But there were also these kind of, amateur scientists or eccentrics who had their weird thing, and it kind of added to. So I guess it brings out, like, the more freedom somebody has, the more they can reveal their true nature. Like,
well, it also depends on how they're raised, right? Who are their parents? What values did they instill in them when they were young? Did they explain the value of hard work, that it's actually good for you, and that if you just find something you really want to do and you concentrate on it and really work hard at it, it's actually very fulfilling.
Yeah, so you could imagine, for example, the education system in this world where we no longer need to work. Like, presumably it would need to be redesigned from scratch, basically, because right now it's a kind of machine, right? So you take children coming in kind of on a conveyor belt.
Yeah.
And then some processing is done, like sit at your desk, here's this assignment, here's a grid, and then they come out with a quality label attached.
Yeah.
Right, and then they are meant to be productive workers that you could put in an office and they will. So this it kind of is an unfortunate fact about the current condition that, I mean, the world needs a lot of these office workers that can do all these tasks in the economy. So like we have to have
until it doesn't.
Until it doesn't, and at that point it would be absurd to keep doing this, right? Then you could imagine changing education so that it would be much more about like how can you learn to live well a life of leisure. Like you imagine
you're right. Stay
like
stimulated.
Cultivating like the art of conversation, appreciation for art and music, hobbies, physical wellness like nature, the ability set your own goals and take your own initiatives to, to develop true friendships with people. Like these are things that are not taught in school, but you could imagine that being the curriculum, like spirituality, like all kinds of things that would then equip people to sort of use their freedom, their wealth, their free time for, some kind of, actually meaningful and beautiful activities.
For sure, for sure, preemptively, we should be kind of teaching people like that now. Like if young people are coming up now, the world that if you're in first grade right now, 12 years from now, when you're graduating from high school, like the world is a totally different place. And this idea that being a productive worker who can sit still for 8 hours a day that's the best way we should teach kids. That seems crazy. If we're really like seeing the world that you're describing and that most people seem to think is oncoming.
Yeah. I guess that the timeline is still a little bit uncertain. So you don't want to end up in a situation, right, where you sort of now you find yourself, you're 20 years old, it's time to go out in the world. You have no skills. The AI revolution hasn't yet quite happened. It's kind of
isn't that a liberal arts degree anyway?
Yeah. And so how is that going?
There's a lot of silly degrees that people get right now that are useless anyway, and they spend a tremendous amount of time working on getting it, and then when they get it out, there's no jobs for that degree.
Yeah, so they were a little bit too early maybe in hopping on this.
Maybe. Or, there's also traps. There's things that you can get really excited about and do. Like if you want to play professional bowling, you want to bowl professionally. Like, well, the amount of money you're going to make is very limited because the best bowler in the world, like what does the best professional bowler in the world make? Let's guess. I say $100,000. Yes, they're professional bowlers. We used to know a guy. Ari's friends with a guy, Tommy. God, I can't remember his last name. Do you remember his last name, Jamie? He was a professional bowler, but he used to come to the Comedy Store and hang out. Really nice guy, and just love comedy. And
I'd imagine like maybe the very best one makes a pretty decent living, and then like the third best, like it's just.
I bet barely. I bet the best guy probably makes maybe $100,000 or $200,000 at the most, and that means like the 30th guy in the world is fucked.
Nothing,
yeah, you have to have another job to pursue that.
Well, but then in this,
what does he make? Oh, $200K. Oh, $400K in big season, $450, including prize money and sponsorships.
But then, like, what does
EJ Tuckett made $437. Fuck yeah, EJ. EJ Tackett made $437,540 for the 2025 season, with several others between $190K and $270K in prize money alone. Top tier. So the top tier guys make a good living. But how many guys are there? You know what I'm saying?
It's probably like a very thin sort of peak. And then...
So if you choose to go into bowling, it's not like choosing to go into, there's a lot of other jobs. Like even if you want to be a basketball player, they're making a lot of money. If you're a really good basketball player and you pursue that, like you could get very, very rich. But how many of them get rich?
Most don't. Yeah, but then so maybe the money factor would kind of drop out of the picture.
Yes, and it would just be what you're interested in, and then maybe even it would. The opportunities are endless.
And what other people are interested in to some extent. Because I think part of what people are competing for is also prestige and status.
Yes, that would be a thing, right? Like status would be more important.